All right, so this is my part two to Caitlin Clark's Athlete of the Year. This title called The Controversy. You want to know why I call it controversy? Well, like I told you, there is so much to unpack in this Athlete of the Year that it's going to take a total of 3 videos. This is 2 of 3. Let's get started.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
All right, welcome back to another Live Wire Sports Media update. All right, so yesterday I did the first part of Caitlin Clark's Athlete of the Year video, and it was called The Opening. And I went into a lot of things that she said. I showed videos and clips and stuff like that. And she talked about various things. So this video today is part 2. And like I said, in the beginning, it's the controversy. Now, we know that ever since Caitlin Clark came into the WNBA, there has been a lot of controversy surrounding her. From where we felt like she was targeted, we felt like she was getting beat up, we felt like she wasn't being marketed right, she wasn't being respected for her basketball skills, more so because she's white, she's straight, she has a boyfriend. But ever since this Time magazine article went out, and plus she sat down yesterday with Maria Taylor. Shout out to Maria Taylor, who used to be with ESPN and left, and now she works for NBC, which I love Maria Taylor a lot because she's so authentic, and I love the way she did the interview with Caitlin Clark. It was phenomenal. Excuse me. It was phenomenal. But we have a few people that are Caitlin Clark supporters that felt she bent the knee, so to speak. I don't think it. I think she spoke her truth. I think she spoke to a place of genuine. I think she told a lot that she felt, and yeah, we as fans, you have a right to feel a certain way. But to sit here and just turn your back on a young lady that's 22 years old and still navigating the business side, the fame side of everything, and just say, well, hey, you know what? She bent the knee. We knew it was going to happen. You already have the Megyn Kellys out here talking about it. You already had the Jason Whitlocks out here talking about it. And which is, they felt like, okay, yeah, regardless, we know that the WNBA has agenda. We know it has a problem. But do you really think that that problem is going to last forever? No, it's not. Because the WNBA is changing before our eyes, whether we want to see it or not, because the style of basketball Caitlin plays, the style of basketball that these young ladies in college plays, there's not going to be Alyssa Thomas in WNBA. There's not going to be a Tina Charles. There's not going to be a Nika Umake. There's not going to be a Diana Taurasi, a Brittany Griner, a Breonna Stewart in the league, to really continue to carry this agenda narrative, you know what I'm saying? So the league is pretty much just going to be on the back of Caitlin Clark as it goes on. Yeah, you're going to have Angel Wilson there, but she's already up in close to her 30s. This league is going to be on Caitlin Clark's back. It's on her back now, but they don't want it to be on her back. And they want to continue to ride with the narrative. good or bad. So, but the one thing that stand out to me that Caitlin Clark said in her time interview, and she repeated again with, excuse me guys, she repeated again with Maria Taylor. She said that, before I get into it, because a lot of people out there saying that she said she had white privilege. That is a false, inaccurate statement because she never said she had white privilege. She said that she worked hard for everything that she has achieved so far. But she said that, but there is white privilege. You know what I'm saying? And some people think white privilege means you don't have you get everything that you want. But white privilege could be the same thing as the struggle of a black person. You know, white people do struggle too. You know, they have to work hard to get to a level of success. So that doesn't mean that they have white privilege. That just means it looks that way to a lot of people. Maybe rich people that's rich, that they probably they had to work hard and everything was given to them. I think that's privilege. Hell, you got some black people that's like that. But when you are a country girl, as Shannon Sharp would say, corn-fed, white girl that she talked about getting cut from Olympic UV Olympic team, coming back, working hard. Hell, Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, and look what he become. So let's start with these runaway narrative and using the word white privilege because somebody's good. It doesn't add up. Whether she acknowledges it one way or another, it shouldn't matter if you are a true supporter. So I'm going to show you the comment that Caitlin said. She said, I want to say I have earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. Again, she said, I want to say I have earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. She didn't say what kind of privilege there is. She didn't say the poor, rich, middle class, or whatever. But there's privilege. And I just alluded to, I think rich white people or rich people, period, are privileged because some of them do not work as hard as the lower class, the middle class, to achieve the level of greatness. She said a lot of those players in the league have been really good being black players. The league has kind of built on them. Now, if some of y'all remember when the WNBA started, okay, we know that majority of that league was black at that time. And the league continued to grow at that time. Excuse me, guys, I really got a bad cough. Allergies is bad, so bear with me, please. Because this part 2 video is very, very important to me. You have to understand that, yeah, there was a level of growth during that time for black women that was growing the league. Yeah, there was some white players in that league also. And it was good too. But the majority was black. Let me ask y'all a question. Do you think that the NBA back in the day when Naismith created the league, founded basketball, and it was majority white people, and then eventually black people, black players, and now international players have came into the league, and do you hear white players or old white players or white people say, well, pay attention to us because we founded this league. Pay attention to us. Or when Tiger Woods started dominating golf as a black as a black guy, You don't hear white golfers talking about, oh, well, we need to pay attention to us. We've been here before Tiger Woods. We've been here before any black player. Pay attention to us. But they do get acknowledged. The NBA is majority black. And it is international players now. So for Kayla Clark to acknowledge where the WNBA growth was and how it started, she acknowledging the black players. That's not bending the knee. Her favorite player, who she admired, is Maya Moore. She's been a fan of the league forever. So why is that bending the knee when you already acknowledge where the league started and how it was built upon? We always say this when people talk about the history of sport, any sport, they always say, know your history. Don't we always tell young athletes, know your history? When you play in the game, give respect to the others that came before you. Didn't we all say that, have said that at a time or another? So why is it that because she said what she said in the interview that all of a sudden she's bending the knee, now we out here, jumping on podcasts, content creators saying, oh, well, it's sickening me, it's sad. You got people out here commenting, you got people all over X talking about it's sickening me. I was a huge supporter of her. Now I can't support her now because she carried it into the woke media or the woke mafia. You know what I'm saying? Or as Jason Whitlock would say, the WNBA Negro League. You know what I'm saying? See, stuff like that continues to put agendas out there and narratives out there that should never be out there. Why we can't respect Kayla Clark for what she feels and believes in? As many times that we don't, it's all right to agree to disagree with a person, but the young lady is 22 years old. She still has a lot to learn. She still has a lot to navigate. See, if we are really true Caitlin Clark supporters and true Caitlin Clark fans, it doesn't matter what she said. Because guess what? As some of y'all out there said, oh, well, she's going to lose half of her fan base. Let me tell you something right now. That ain't about to happen at all. It's not about to happen at all. Because Caitlin Clark is too big of an athlete. She is too big of a name. She is too big of an image for her fan, she lose half of her fan base. That kind of idiotic thinking makes you weaken your own self-confidence to think that this young lady is going to lose a lot of fans because she made a comment in there. Now, moving on a little bit more. I did bring up Megyn Kelly, who is a very conservative person. You know what I'm saying? She usually has some good takes, but this take is wrong. Her and Jason Whitlock is pretty wrong on this. And I'm not afraid to call them out on it, not afraid to mention their name about it. They wrong for taking shots at Caitlin Clark. Because you have to, like I said before, do your history of sports, where it started. Jason Whitlock loves to throw up Jackie Robinson, calling Caitlin Clark the white version of Jackie Robinson, of how she's being treated in the league or whatever like that. Caitlin Clark overcame a lot. Through a lot. Was it fair? No, it wasn't fair. But did you hear her complain? No, she didn't. So let me show you what Megyn Kelly had to say. Megyn Kelly took the X the day on the time interview. She said, look at this. She's on the knee, all but apologizing for being white and getting attention. The self-inflammation, the old please pay attention to the black players who are really the ones who want to celebrate condescending, fake, transparent, sad. So you pretty much target a 22-year-old girl because she felt the way she felt about the league and how the league has grown. Like I said before, we don't have to agree with everything Caitlin Clark said, but these are her feelings and how she felt. True people who follow the league back then know that the league has been built on what the NBA has injected into them. The NBA has been carrying them. Yeah, it started with players, black players, whatever other players that was in the league. But like I alluded to, you don't hear white players in the NBA complaining, "Oh, please pay attention to us. We started the league." You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work that way at all. Then you got Jason Whitlock. Caitlin Clark begins the process of bending the knee. WNBA culture is undefeated. It breaks them all. So let me ask you a question, Jason Whitlock. What made Caitlin Clark break? How did they break her? Apparently, she's doing pretty dang well. She's going everywhere. She's doing all of this. She's all out here doing that. She don't look broken to me. Do anyone of y'all out here see her looking broken? No. She's all smiles. She's doing her thing. Yeah, we complain about her Nike deal. But she's out here doing other stuff, making appearances, filming Netflix, participating in golf. She's nominated for a BBC Sports Award. Just Forbes 30 under 30. I don't see she look broken to me, Jason Whitlock. Well, hold on, let me take my glasses off. Nah, I don't see it either. I don't see it. So, that's a lot to where people sit there. Now, she did address the Angel Reese situation along with other situations. Let me pull it up real quick. She said, her and Angel Reese are not best friends by any means, but we are very respectable towards one another. Yes, we have a tremendous battles, but we have, but when we have ever guarded, whenever I have guarded her and whenever she had guarded me, because her and Angel Reese goes way back. We already know that, and we already know the I can't see anything when I will beat them in a championship game. I mean, LSU beat them in a championship game. This kid, Caitlin, is out there talking trash. We already hear Gina Irma said that she was going to fail. That we set her up to fail. We said that she was not going to be MVP. We was delusional fans saying that she was going to come in there and take the lead by storm. Well, guess what, Gina? She did. But she talked about Angel Reese. Angel Reese has her own thing. Yeah, Angel Reese, I feel like Angel Reese has benefit from the Caitlin Clark success, and she's riding that wave. But, and then, they both made All-Star and they was able to play with each other. And Caitlin threw her assist. Fortunately, she made a point, But regardless of what they both feel for each other, they're never going to tell you. We know how they feel about each other, but Caitlin plays the poker face as well as anybody. And that's why I give Caitlin Clark a lot of respect. I'm not going to turn on her because of her comments. I'm not going to do that at all. Now, another one she said was, she said that she never thought she was targeted. This is a very important one because of the Kennedy Carter situation. She said she never thought she was targeted by any means. If I can pull up over here, let me see. Okay, so Kayla Clark said, I never thought I was targeted, Clark said. Obviously, that shouldn't ever happen with a game, but basketball is physical. Your emotions get the best of you. My emotions have gotten the best of me many times, which we all have seen her emotions get the best of her. Hell, she has six technical fouls this year. She says she did not see Reese cheering from the bench. I don't even know if she really knew what happened, says Clark. Honestly, I don't think she was cheering because someone hit me. I really don't think that will be the case. I hope not. And they say Reese representative did not make her available for this article. And she said a lot of people that wanted to have opinions on what was happening probably didn't even watch the game or half of the games that were trying to have a take on something that had support with the W for a really long time. That's what Kayla Clark said. And rather we seen what Kennedy Carter did. And it probably blindsided and caught Kayla Clark off guard. You know what I'm saying? And she probably when Kayla Clark fell out, she was looking for the referee. Angel Reese did cheer. She did cheer. You know what I'm saying? But and again, what you going to say in the media? Because no matter what Kayla Clark says or what she doesn't say, it's never going to be enough for anybody. So I'm gonna dive in a couple of videos real quick because I have a lot to impact. So what I did at the beginning when I was talking about how she said that her privilege and what she earned, she cleared it up again. This ain't the first time Caitlin Clark has talked about a lot of different issues. She's been talking about this all year long. Have we been really paying attention to her? Or we just waited till this Time Magazine article to pop out just to have our unbiased opinion of Caitlin Clark? So we can have something to say, you know what, I don't want to support her no more. Oh, you know what, I ain't getting league pass no more because she said this. Let's get real, people. We got to start allowing our emotions to get the best of it because this society is such an easy target of sensitivity that you can't say anything because people get too sensitive about anything you say, right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? Or factual or non-factual, different or indifferent. So check out this video real quick.
And even earlier today, Megyn Kelly, she was saying that you were apologizing for your white privilege and the fact that you wanted to uplift Black female athletes and make sure that they were getting the shine, kind of like your pioneers were getting the shine that they deserved. And I just want to know how you feel or how you respond to some of those criticisms when you have to deal with something that it's really not your problem. Like, I feel like it's them looking in a mirror a little bit, but it still comes down on your shoulders.
I feel like I always have had really good perspective on everything that's kind of happened in my life, whether that's been good, whether that's been bad. And then obviously coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. But also, I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about. And like I said, like, it's only been around 25 plus years. So I know there's been so many amazing Black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think, is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of. And like I said, like, I try to just be real and authentic and, you know, share my truth. And I think that's very easy for me. Like, I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And that's kind of been how it is my entire life.
Yes. And you'll never be able to make everyone happy. And someone that knows that at the age of 22, like, let's go.
I mean, I think I have good perspective on that. And like I said in the article, which turned out amazing, I thought it was great. I said, I feel like one of my best skills is just blocking things out. Like, I don't really, the only opinions I really care about are the people that I love, my teammates, my coaches, the people inside of our locker room, the people that I see every single day and I know have my best interests at heart too. So I think my best skill is just blocking out the noise, and hopefully it continues to be, because with the way things are going and where the WNBA is going, you want that attention and you embrace it, and that's what makes this so fun.
Yeah. I'm just so thankful that you are the leader. Like, you are the chosen one in the future of the sport because of the allyship, the truth, and the willingness to stand and say things if you have to. But I also think the nuance that you used in that article, and I hope everyone gets a chance to read it, were...
All right, so you listen to that, and she reiterated again from the article. But sometimes people hear what they want to hear, listen to what they want to listen. Now, one thing I have learned by doing these contents is learning how to dissect information, learn to do proper investigation, proper research before ever putting something out there. And shout out to Miss Adrian Ross, because she repeats this all the time, is that you got to read between the lines. Caitlin has one of the best poker face. Whether what she says in these articles is true or how she feels, we have to take it as her truth. Whether she say, you know what, they probably, her and whoever, the publishers or whatever for time, they probably sat behind the scenes and say, look, we need you to say this, because, you know, if you really tell how you feel, you're going to get scrutinized. And sometimes you have to play the long game instead of just going out there and say, oh, well, like one person put on X, said, well, hell, Kayla Clark should have just did a Denzel Washington on both sides, the woke side and the MAGA side, and just, you know what, say F it, you know. But that's not how Caitlin Clark built. She wants peace and love for everybody, not just the people that's whining and complaining about pay attention to me, and the ones that be like, well, we so tired of the wokeness and stuff like that. She wants love and peace for everybody. And that's the one thing I think that we are missing, because for years ago, we didn't even have to worry about unbiased opinion. And when we voice our opinion about something, it was like, hey, you know what? Hey, you know what? I understand that. I can see where this person coming from. It's not like that no more. It's like you have to choose a side to be right or wrong. If you're on this side, you're wrong. If you're on that side thinks they're right. If you're on this side thinks they're right. If you're on this side thinks you're wrong. It should never be that way at all. It should be healthy conversation. Say, look, I'm gonna support Kayla Clark no matter what. You know, I might not agree with all her takes on it, but hey, you know, let's give it the benefit of the doubt. Boom, move on. But we can't do that in today's world, in today's society. It's got to be, oh, I'm fed up. I can't take this no more. Blase, blase. Life is too short to be stressed for simple nonsense. Either you get it or you don't. Now, my next clip is about the Gil's Arenas podcast. You knew they was gonna pop out the woodwork at some point of time. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact of the matter is that the number one player hater on there is Cheryl Swoops. She's been hating on Caitlin Clark for the whole season, coming out of college, in the WNBA, talking about her team, trying to bring this dissension between the team because she favors certain black players. Because she hates Caitlin Clark. She doesn't like Caitlin Clark. She has a disdain for Caitlin Clark. But guess what? Every level of success Caitlin Clark gets pisses her off. And you can see her emotion in this clip right here.
Our Caitlin Clark has been named Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year. So the award, which has been distributed since 2019, Clark becomes the first WNBA player to ever win this award. We see the album cover, or excuse me, the magazine cover. I'm her fucking up. Look like an album cover, and you know, with the baggy pants. But Cheryl, I'll start with you. What's your reaction to Caitlin Clark winning Time Magazine Athlete of the Year?
I don't think I'm surprised. I'm curious to know who the other candidates were, but the fact that that's the very first WNBA player to ever win Time Magazine Athlete of the Year is pretty special. And my question is, like the criteria, is it based off of her performance on the court, which, yeah, she had a great year, or is it more about the impact that she had on the game this season?
I'm sure a mix of both. Obviously, WNBA saw record viewership numbers across the board. Her team's played in a lot of those games.
No, I think it's great, not just for her. I think it's great for the league.
Yeah.
Right? Like, everybody talked about the recognition that she brought to the W this season. So for her to be Time Magazine Athlete of the Year, I think it's really great for the league.
So in the Time article, Clark had a strong quote acknowledging her privilege. Here's what she said. I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been black players. This league has kind of been built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then you continue to have brands and companies invest in those players that have made this league incredible, I think it's very important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing. So, yeah, when you hear Caitlin say that, because Caitlin obviously in the media has been very, you know.
She has a great marketing team.
Yeah, I'm not, I'm just hooping.
She's trying to stay at the barbecue, goddamn, because, yeah.
She's the stag girl. She was invited to the bar. She got the cookout. But when you hear that, thoughts on Caitlin Clark saying she wants to use her platform to elevate black women in the WNBA have been instrumental, obviously, in building that league to what it is. Okay.
So what's the since it's 2019?
And see, that's the hypocrisy of Cheryl Swoops. Like I said, it doesn't matter what Caitlin Clark says or doesn't say, because it's never going to be enough. So, and you think that Caitlin Clark's worried about people being mad? No, she's not worried about that. You as an individual have to deal with that self-inflicting narcissistic behavior that you have in yourself of not liking a person because the person ain't black, or a black person didn't get nominated. She went on to say, Cheryl Swoops went on to say, well, why not Angel Wilson? Well, what have Angel Wilson has done off the court? What she has done in college? What, she probably won a national title. She ain't broke no records, really, probably for South Carolina, but not NCAA, whatever the case may be. Who cares? But what level of her impact that she had taken when she came into the league to take the league by storm? She had to grow into that. She wasn't like Caitlin Clark that came into the league with the weight of her world on her shoulder. She grew into that league to be the player that she is now. And some say that if it wasn't Caitlin Clark, it would have been Simone Biles again because of what she had done in the Olympics, which I agree. So, but Caitlin Clark, what she did in college and what she did in the W overshadowed all of that. So yeah, winning Rookie of the Year, breaking records, over 70 records in the W in her first year. But you look at Cheryl Swoops' face, she looks like a prune, you know, like, instead of saying, you know what, hey, I appreciate what Caitlin Clark said. But this goes back to early in the season when a certain ESPN analyst tried to track Caitlin Clark in there, and she said, well, I don't hear stuff. I don't hear my name being used or whatever the case may be. I just try to, you know, play basketball. And then you had Dejanay Carrington came out talking about, man, you know, how you cannot know that somebody using your name or whatever the case may be. People gonna use a person's name all the time. You know, whether you want to hear it or not. It's just what it is. But how can you blame her for that? You know, people going to use on that. People still doing it today. You know, just to draw up something to make it seem like, hey, and then people want to make like Caitlin Clark is a white racist. You know what I'm saying? It's what it is, man. Now I'm gonna dive into this last clip, and then I'm gonna wrap up. Dan Deirdre for the his Outkick show, he went on to say that he talked about what Caitlin said about she didn't say anything wrong, and he said pretty simple, say get off her ass. And I agree, get off Caitlin Clark's ass. Take a listen.
So yesterday in Thoughts from the Big Brown Chair, I didn't like the way my head looked. Now, I looked like I was 172 years old, and you took notice, said, man, you have aged. I probably have. But, all right, let's get to real thoughts. So Caitlin Clark came out and said, look, yeah, I'm privileged, and people lost their mind. Well, okay, I guess that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know which way to go about it, but what do you think is going to happen next? Like, do you think all of a sudden all the world's problems are going to be solved? Do you think that the racially charged lesbian women of the WNBA are going to be less jealous? Maybe they are. Do you think all of a sudden advertisers are going to come to some of these unlikable women? I don't know. Maybe they will. I don't know whether it was good or bad, but I do know this. I do know that Caitlin Clark has always stayed above the fray, and I see a lot of white people mad at her for acknowledging this. They say she bent the knee. Well, maybe, just maybe, she feels the way that she said. I get it all the time. If you say something that people don't like, well, you're being paid for that. Well, you're a shill. Well, Daddy Clay put you up to it. No, maybe I just feel that way. I never have a problem with people saying the way they feel, as long as it seems honest. And when Caitlin Clark spoke to Time magazine, I felt it to be honest. So get off her ass. Seriously, get off her ass. Just because she acknowledges something that others don't like her acknowledging doesn't mean she's wrong, or doesn't mean she's evil, or doesn't mean she's bent the knee, or doesn't mean, I don't know. It's simply a woman, a young woman, expressing how she feels when asked a question. If it bothers you, it bothers you. Fine, but don't let it bother you. Move along. Your life is good. Your life is fine, whether Caitlin Clark says anything or not.
He said that perfectly, as I have alluded to throughout this whole video. Move along. If you allow what Caitlin Clark said to interrupt your life, or because you are so emotionally invested in it and you like, you know what, I can't do this no more, then there's something wrong with you as an individual. And like I said before in the beginning, it's okay to agree to disagree. There's nothing wrong with that. It's an unpopular opinion, because we expect for who we like, who we cheer for in Caitlin Clark to say everything that we want her to say. But it's not going to always be that way. She's going to say things that we might not agree with. But can we have a healthy dialogue about it while getting our feelings, up in arms and saying, well, hey, I ain't going to support her no more? Come on, man. You got to be realistic in that. Now, I pulled this clip earlier last night, and it's from Brian Karsestein, if I'm pronouncing it right, off of X. And he had a very profound, enlightened thing about what Caitlin Clark said about white privilege. And this is what he said. White privilege does not mean your life has been easy. It doesn't mean you haven't worked hard or faced struggles. It simply means that the color of your skin hasn't been one of the things making your life harder. And we already know that throughout history, black slavery and so forth with black people. And that's where I think that's what he's talking about. Think about he said, think about it this way. If two people are running a race and one of them has carried an extra 50-pound weight, it doesn't mean the person without the weight didn't have to run or didn't get tired. It just means they weren't held back by the additional burden. White privilege is about a systematic advantage that white people have in society that historically and presently has favored whiteness. It's the benefit of not being racial profile while driving and seeing people who look like you in positions of power, or of not worrying that your skin color will cause someone to assume the worst about you. It doesn't ease anyone's individual struggles, but it does highlight the fact that people of color face additional barriers that white people don't. Recognizing white privilege isn't about feeling guilty. It's about understanding the reality so that we can work together to make society more equitable for everyone. So, with that being said, I needed that piece because that was very, very important to highlight. Because the fact of the matter is, people, yes, Black people have had it hard, struggling. But when it comes to sports, all of these women that's in the WNBA have deals, have commercials, have shoe deals, sponsorship deals, have been on numerous platforms, are making money, have played overseas to make more money. So when you sit there and say that you're struggling, when you have a level of success of playing in the W, I can see if a person came out of college and didn't get a chance to play and got cut, or didn't get drafted, it would make more sense. But all of these women in the W is successful. They're all making money. They might not make the money that they cry about, but they are making money. See, controversy cuts deep when the truth comes to light. And when you speak in truth and you stand by your truth, there's nothing that can deteriorate for your purpose. And I must say this to Caitlin Clark. Stand true in your purpose. You're going to have people support you. You're going to have people against you. But make no mistake, there's nothing nobody can do, say, or take away from you that God has in store for you. God is your light, and God is going to continue to shine on greatness upon you because you are authentic of who you are. Whether we agree with your opinion or not, your opinions or not, doesn't change mine of who you are. So with that being said, leave your likes and comments below. Tell me what you think about this video. I know it's really long, but it's a very important part of this trilogy I'm doing of Kayla Clark, Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year. Part 3, the appreciation, comes out tomorrow, and we'll talk about her appreciation and the others that appreciate her and has stepped up and has support of her. Until then, like, comment, subscribe. I just hit 7,000. Let's push it up to 8,000 or more. Again, this is your boy Livewire Sports Media, and I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire. McBride, sports and entertainment. Let's go.